Hello everybody, my name's Richard Watson and this is Anglais the Easy Way. And today I'd like to fix one thing. I'd like to fix there is, there are, and the whole there family. So let's open the door. In English, we don't have a single word for existence, like in French or in Spanish. We have to choose between singular and plural all the time and immediately. So the biggest mistake is the hesitation. If you stumble means if you nearly fall or if you have a problem, at the start of a sentence, you lose your authority. So today we're going to practice opening that door automatically. So the quick rule, one versus more than one. There is or there's is for one thing. There's a problem in production. There's a problem in production. There are, which we often pronounce there are, is for two or more things. There are some concerns about the timeline. I'll say it again. There are some concerns about the timeline. There's one exception to this, which is a bit strange for French speakers. There's an exception when you have a list. If you have a list, you use the one that fits the first item. Listen to this one. There is a laptop and 4 monitors in the crate, in the box. Okay? There is a laptop and 4 monitors. You don't have to go back and change it. So let's try a little game together. I'm going to try and give you a situation, and I want you to open the door with the right version of there. Now do this at home. Situation 1. We're in the past, and there's a missing resource. For example, you tried to call the client at 3 p.m., but nobody answered the phone. How do you say nobody was in the office using there? I would say, I called, but there was nobody in the office. I'll say it again. I called, but there was nobody in the office, or there was nobody there. Often people learn there is, there are, and they practice it, but they never really stretch it to other tenses. So the past is fine. There was, there were, right? In the future, let's set a goal. For example, you're planning a launch. You are confident the customers will be waiting. The question is, how do you say a lot of interest will exist using there? You would never say that in English. A lot of interest will exist. What do we say? You say, I'm sure there will be a lot of interest. I'm sure there will be a lot of interest. The future form of the verb to be. How about the future negative? When you're managing risk. Here's the situation. You've checked the backup servers. Everything is double protected. The question, how do you say no data loss will happen using there? Here's the answer. We have a backup, so there won't be any loss of data. There won't be any loss of data. Next one, the conditional. The what if. You're discussing a potential budget cut. The question, how do you say no way to finish would exist? No way to finish would exist using there. See, that's a horrible sentence. How about this? If they cut the funding, there would be no way to finish the project. I'll say it again. If they cut the funding, there would be no way to finish the project. Okay, how about the modals? This is an interesting one. French people never do this. Possibility and advice. This is manager's language. Listen to this. The expectation, there should be a draft in your inbox, which means I sent it. Go look, there should be a draft. Not there is, not there are, there should be a draft. How about a warning? There could be some pushback from our legal team. There could be some pushback, means resistance from our legal team. Be ready. The uncertainty, there might be a better way to do this. There might be. Means I'm not sure, but it's possible. There might be. English speakers use this all the time. It's an easy structure for us. It's a hard one for French people. There might be a better way to do this. One of the most difficult things about this particular structure is the way that we actually pronounce it in English. There are kind of secret contractions. Native speakers almost never say there are very clearly. We say it like this. There's a problem. We don't say there is. We can, but we often say there's a problem. How about this one? There are 2 of them. If you listen to it, it's there. There are two of them. We don't say there are, like a lot of French people. There are two of them. There are a lot of things to do. There. The NT, we do not say there aren't. Be careful. That's a really strange one. There aren't. There's no R in this word. Listen to how we say it. There aren't. Exactly like an aunt, like the sister of your father. Right? There aren't. And then there weren't. Sounds like being burnt. There weren't. There won't be. There won't be. And there wouldn't be. Careful, you don't really pronounce the T. There wouldn't be. There wouldn't be. I'm going to give you a few simple sentences with different tenses so you can practice this on your own. I'm just going to read them straight. Listen to the tense changes here. There's a conflict in my calendar at 2 p.m. There are several ways to approach this problem. I'll do that one again, a bit slower. There are several ways to approach this problem. There won't be any need for a follow-up call. There should be an update by the end of the day. There should be an update by the end of the day. There might be some confusion about the new policy. It means it's possible. There might be some confusion. There were a lot of questions after the presentation. There were a lot of, listen to that one, there were a lot of questions after the presentation. There would be more efficiency if we automated it. There would be more efficiency. Bit of a weird sentence, but there wouldn't be any delay if we had the parts ready. There wouldn't be any delay if we had the parts ready. How about the question? Is there any room for negotiation on the price? Is there any room for negotiation on the price? There could be a misunderstanding here. There could be a misunderstanding here. So here's a mission for you. When you enter a room today, describe it using 3 tenses. Present, there are 3 people here. The past, yesterday there was only 1. And tomorrow there will be 10 and there won't be any empty chairs. Force your brain to switch to an engine which is based on time, count, and possibility. And if you want a little exercise to work on, do this as a mission. Look at your schedule for tomorrow. Say out loud, that means say with your voice, say out loud one thing that there will be, one thing there should be, and one thing there might be. Okay? And most of all, have fun with it. This is a really good one to get straight. It's a real sign of a good speaker if you can manage this simple structure. Anyway, have fun. I'll talk to you next time, and don't forget to subscribe.